YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, coming to you for the first time ever in Beyond HD. That's right. What is this? Ultra HD? Whatever they call it. I don't know if it's Ultra HD. So this is 2560 by 1440 or 1440p, as I'll call it going forward. 2K, I think I've heard it referred to also. I got a new monitor. I'll have a link to it in the description if you want to go check it out for yourself. Pretty excited about it. It is pretty spectacular. And getting a really nice performance from it. It's 165 Hz, 2560 by 1440p max. It is a TN panel, not an IPS, but it is still pretty incredible. And really enjoying Warhammer on it. It looks fantastic. I hope it comes across good for you on the other end. I did notice the first time I recorded on it, like when I played the game, it was super duper smooth, but when the recording was like a little bit choppy, it may have something to do with my recording software and G-Sync. If it still persists, I'll work on clearing it out, see what kind of settings I need to change. But yeah, it's very impressive. And I got a sweet battle here for you. It was sent in by HeirofCarthage, and he's playing up against another highly ranked player. He's going to be sporting the vampire counts against Bretonnia, and you saw the Fey Enchantress over there. Out in the distance here, you can see a vampire lord, and he's chasing his quarry here, which is actually a bunch of Bretonnian cavalry that is fleeing away from blood knights and also crypt horrors. You can see here a very nice Raise the Dead being used to kind of block the Bretonnian cavalry and force it to have to ride around. So Raise the Dead is extremely annoying. And it's definitely one of those spells that makes the vampires very strong indeed. And HeirofCarthage himself says that a lot whenever he's commenting on the videos, and then when he sent this in, and I think he's absolutely right. I mean, it's a problem. Look at this, raising up skeleton warriors right in the middle of the archers along with the bats. He can, oh, I'm online, and apparently Indie Pride's playing. I'm gonna, there we go offline. So yeah, very difficult to deal with sometimes. Look at all the different units coming up. And then Raise the Dead can also be extremely dangerous for you whenever you're trying to take a cavalry engagement. And then look at this, how the vampire is forcing the crypt horrors into the cavalry engagement. The rest of their army is, look, even more Raise the Dead over here. Just look at the Raise the Dead coming in. Bretonnia is struggling to do anything with its archers, which it badly needs to take down the crypt horrors. Skeleton warriors coming in. These guys are fodder just to keep all the infantry busy, and the real fight's going to take place out here. That's where the Blood Knights meet the Questing Knights and Grail Knights. The Blood Knights are a better unit than either. Both Grail and Questing Knights have advantage. Look at this again, blocking part of the charge with the Raise the Dead. HeirofCarthage's got his Raise the Deads down to an art here. It looks like he may not think it's perfect, but it's pretty darn good. Comet of Cassandora, anybody? And you're darn right you want some Comet. Will it do anything, though? I kind of feel like the Comet of Cassandora is pretty underwhelming, other than in looks. And there it was. You can see it did almost nothing to the vampire forces. At least it sure didn't look like it did. So I can look at the Fey Enchantress. Just a few kills, and it's probably from the zombies that she's fighting, to be honest. So yeah, the fight's actually pretty close. Certain things are going good for Bretonnia, certain things are not. The fight against the skeleton warriors is probably not a big worry. They'll do good there. But the fight back here for the cavalry is pretty dire. The archers are not getting all the shots in that they need. And you've got Blood Knights pulling around out here, doing cycle charges, chasing down more archers, as is the Vampire Lord. And the Enchantress is kind of bogged down in a whole bunch of zombies and Blood Knights here. The Enchantress looks awesome whenever she's attacking or just on her steed Silvaron here. Definitely one of the coolest legendary lords in the game, in my opinion. Definitely like her campaign as well. Have a lot of fun with the campaign. But yeah, it's going to be a close fight here. HeirofCarthage is going to have his work cut out for him, as is his opponent. Both players fighting desperately for a victory here. Blood Knights are difficult for Bretonnia to deal with. I've played against them a few times, and I've just noticed that the support from the vampires is superior in the sense that Invocation to Heck regenerates units, or resurrects units, I should say, as well as healing them. And the other thing I think the vampires have going is raise the dead. When you raise the dead in the middle of these cavalry fights, it just throws like thousands more hit points in between you and your enemies, and it's extremely useful. And then you look like these cryptors too. That's a great unit to throw into this fight. Yeah, the Grail Knights have anti-large, but the armor piercing of these cryptors along with the poison, and then combine them with the cavalry, and they are hitting hard. Taking out all the Grail Knights and Questing Knights for now. The Fey Enchantress does manage to kind of get away. She's out here, currently speaking, running away from some Blood Knights. And it's probably good for her to run away from them. Got some archers trying to drop some flaming arrows, and then these foot squires are going to sacrifice themselves into the Blood Knights for the lady. Foot squires, not the best for taking down cavalry, but there's enough of them here that they absolutely could have done it. The Vampire Lord, I keep wanting to say the Red Duke, it's just a Vampire Lord. He's over here taking out some peasant archers. Definitely a good idea. These guys could do horrendous damage to the cryptors. Look at that Fey Enchantress running this guy off. She is definitely one awesome character there. Yeah, still very tight battle at this point, though. Yeah, I'm not really sure who has the edge here. I mean, there's a lot of foot squires right here. There's a Grail Relic. The lady's in very good shape, and I don't know, these Blood Knights running around unchecked. There's a couple of returned Grail Knights, but a lot of Blood Knights out there, 39 of them. 33 Blood Knights here. And they're not even all the way healed. And then there's two pretty healthy Cryptor units and two that are pretty beat up. So we'll see how it goes. Battle Pilgrims and Foot Squires probably won't do great versus Cryptors. Maybe if the Horrors get worn down enough, but I don't think so. Yeah, I just don't think Horrors are going to like... well, I mean, like I said, the Horrors were kind of worn down, a few of them, but this is not the kind of fight that Foot Squires excel at. They're going to be better against, you know, infantry. Any infantry with a decent amount of armor, they should be useful there. That Foot Squire shield is kind of weird. Is it like a second sword that's back there, like a shorter sword? It's kind of odd. I'd never noticed that before. Man, I am really loving this game on the new monitor. It looks beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I got the monitor on sale for about $380 US. The link I'll send you to, actually, I think listed at full price, because I'm going to link straight to Dell's website since it's their monitor. I know that I know Amazon and Walmart both had it cheaper, and I think maybe Newegg.com did too. I usually get all my stuff from Newegg, but I get a discount with Walmart since I work for them, and it was just a better deal. So, staying straight. Worked out good. Oh man, that is looking good. Another Comet of Cassandor. This game is absolutely beautiful. Look at the little spot where the comet hit. Oh man, that looks good. Hope y'all are enjoying the Ultra HD. I'm pretty psyched. Someone may be saying like, well, why didn't you get 4K? I'm kind of waiting for when, not that 60 frames a second isn't good enough, because it is, and that's what this video is recorded in. It'll be 60 frames a second. I'm watching it on my monitor at more than 60 frames a second, but it'll be recorded at 60 frames. 60 frames is good. Most people, that's plenty, but it really does look good when you go above it. I'm kind of waiting for technology to get to the point where you can go into ultra graphics and kind of push 4K above 60 hertz. I'm not aware of any 4K monitors that are above 60 hertz right now. There could be some. I haven't looked, you know, terribly close, but the cost, I'm sure, would be frightening. So I'm going to kind of wait until that becomes more commonplace. I am going to get the 1080 Ti, and I'll be doing a review of that whenever it comes out towards the end of the month. The one that I'm wanting to get will come out towards the end of the month, and I'll let you know how it runs Warhammer on these Ultra HD settings. In terms of this, I'm running a GTX 1080 right now, and when I run the benchmark battle with just like the Ultra preset, so like if you just go click Ultra Graphics, it previously on 1080 was getting about 130 frames a second, and on the 1440p I was getting 95 frames a second in the benchmark battle, so still a very impressive performance from the 1080. more than enough. And I'm sure if you like kind of back the graphics up from ultra to high, you know, a 1070 would probably do just fine. Probably. I don't know that for sure because I don't have one to test it with. I do have a buddy who's got a 1070, and we might get a chance to test it. And if that's the case, you know, a 1070 would be obviously a lot more bang for your buck, probably. A 1080 is a fantastic graphics card, and I'm sure the 1080 Ti is going to also be awesome. But they are expensive, and I understand that not a lot of people out there necessarily are going to have the money for that type of thing. So I have to say, in general, the 10, and this is just me randomly talking to you, I mean, the 10 series graphics cards are extremely impressive. I have the 1070 in my laptop. Been very happy with what it does. I've seen the 1060 laptops also running really, really good for the cost. So awesome stuff from NVIDIA. Is the Fey Enchantress chasing a unit of Blood Knights? Why would they run away from her? Yeah, that's the right question. They don't run away from her. She better do the running here. Silvaron apparently not faster than the Hell Steeds of the vampires here, the skeletal steeds, whatever they are. There comes the Vampire Lord. I don't think the lady is going to survive this. She's trying to drop some magic out here. No, that's Undeath Resurgent. Never mind. Oh yeah, there was some magic. But the Comet really didn't do anything. The Fey Enchantress is in pretty rough shape. There's a couple of last Battle Pilgrims trying to help finish off the fight, but it is much too late for these souls. The vampires are going to win it. It's going to be a pretty close fight, but I don't see any way that Bretonnia pulls this out, and especially not with this coming over the hill back there, those Crypt Horrors. Look at the Grail relic up there. It really does look like something from Monty Python. It's kind of ridiculous. Those Crypt Horrors, though. It almost looks like they just whacked the Blood Knight really hard. Anyway, like I said, hope you all enjoyed the video. I appreciate Robin sending it in, and you got to see his opponent's name here at the end too. It's pretty funny. Here's his opponent's name. Noob YouTubers, what's going on? I think that was a dig at me. It's pretty funny. I like it. Anyway, good game to the both of you. I enjoyed this one. Appreciate Iru sending it in. What do you all think? Do you think Iru's right? You think the vampires have the edge in this matchup versus Bretonnia? I kind of think they do, based on some matches. I've played a couple matches the last couple days. I haven't gotten anything that I was really happy with to show. I thought this was a better match than anything I've played. I'll keep playing matches, and I'll get you some of them. But just to keep the conversation around Bretonnia going, I don't know. That's just what I'm seeing right now. I definitely think vampires are better. Blood Knights are better. Raise the Dead's a big deal. And despite the fact that Foot Squires can trade really nicely with Graveguard, I mean, by the time you add up some of the other things that vampires get, I think it makes them better. I mean, Questing Knights, definitely a dangerous unit, but when they got wrapped up with those Blood Knights, it was over. And I think that the big worry with Questing Knights is they would do spectacular versus infantry, but the vampires are just so likely to bring Blood Knights or Crypt Horrors or both. And I think that both of those units end up kind of getting in the way of the Questing Knights being supremely effective. I don't know. That's just my thought. Tell me what you think. Hope you all enjoyed this one. HeirofCarthage signing out for now, and I will see you back with some more 1440p Warhammer videos. In fact, they should all be at that rating from here on out, assuming that the quality and everything's working out fine. See you then.